We are now being joined by a guy that's had a lot to do and a lot to say about what's gone on here this year, and Craig Patrick. And Craig, welcome to the development camp. Your thoughts on the first 10 minutes and the 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, 2-on-2s?
Yeah, it was interesting. This is the first chance they really had to compete against each other. They've been working in drills together, but now they're competing with one another. So it's nice to finally see this happening.
Craig, what are you looking for out of these guys? Billy and I were just talking about it, but from a team perspective, especially on this last day, what are you guys looking for?
Well, all week long, it's been a teaching mode. We're trying to get them used to what we expect out of them, both on and off the ice, and trying to get them to make the right choices in their lives. And it's been a great week for them all. One thing that's great about this group is they've all worked very, very hard, and there hasn't been one complaint all week. So we're really pleased with what we've seen so far.
I would imagine, Craig, you're looking for characteristics, leadership, work ethic, things that you can see now that you might develop in 2 or 3 seasons.
Those are things we're trying to develop, yeah, within this group. They've had a lot of interesting things go on this week. They spent 5 hours in a park the other day doing building skills, 4 different groups, 4 different challenges, and in this 105-degree weather, it was difficult for them.
I'll bet.
And they were tired. They're tired today, but they've been a great group to work with.
Craig, you can see the impression that Todd Richards has already left on the players that are out on the ice, and you can see it all week long in everything that they've done. There's a compete level #1, but the other thing that is they're having a ball. They're having fun doing it, and that's exactly what Todd brought into this team last year when he finished off the season.
That's absolutely correct, and you're right. They are having a lot of fun, but they're working their tails off. So it's like I said, it's been a great week for everybody.
Craig, one of the guys we have out on the ice right now is Ryan Murray, and I know you guys are just really getting to know him in terms of what he can do Blue Jackets wise, but tell us why he was your #1 pick and why you guys are so high on him.
Well, he's a very solid defenseman. He might be able to play this year, which is he might be the only one that really gets to play a regular shift in the NHL this year. So that's what we were looking for in him. He's a horse of a guy. Like, he's really, really strong. His trunk from his waist down is really, really solid. They were pulling this sled out in the middle of Nationwide yesterday, and it was like he was pushing it around like it wasn't anything there. And he's just so strong.
One area of the game, and I think if we look up and down the roster, Craig, defensively it looks fairly solid for this year. Forward-wise, maybe a tweak here and there, but I think the surprise right now are 4 young goaltenders in here that are competing well, and that is going to have to be the earmark of this team, not only this year, but also in the future for the success of this organization.
Yes, and that's exactly right. And this group of guys, they all get along really well, first of all, and they all work really hard. They have high opinions of themselves in terms of their abilities, so they're a confident group, and I see it as a very bright part of our future.
And the other thing is, it's not like it was, well, years ago it was the typical North American goaltender that comes in and steals the net and hangs on to the net. Now it's got that European flavor, especially when you look at Finland and Sweden.
Yeah. There's goaltenders all over the globe are getting better and better all the time, and we've been able to find some good ones for our organization, so we're really happy with that.
And the depth right there in that position has got to be so important to you, especially when you look at what happened last year, how deep you had to go into the goaltending ranks. Now I'm not saying any of these guys are going to be with a big club, but it's nice to have that depth.
It's definitely nice to have the depth, and they won't be playing here this year, but they will in the future.
One thing, Craig, that I'm going to ask it, but I know it probably will not be answered in the way we want. Surprises in camp. Is there a couple of players that stand out, or in an area that has surprised you as this week has gone on?
No, it's interesting. We've all asked ourselves that question as a group, and we all come up with a different name, so there's been a lot of surprises out there. For me, Sean Collins has been a real standout. And he's a centerman, so that's perfect for us going into the future.
And he's a big boy out of Cornell as well, and really finished off his last year at 13 goals and second in the team in scoring.
Yeah, and he went to Springfield and played very, very well in 7 or 8 games there. So everybody's really pleased with him.
One other thing I want to ask is about Cam and Ryan coming back and playing with these guys. They don't have to do that, but the fact that these guys who are still pretty young themselves came back and took part in this development camp, what does that say to you about those 2 guys?
Well, it says a lot to me. I'm glad they did it. It's great for our organization to have those kind of attitude in our organization. And Ryan came back in great shape. Like we're not even
looks a
halfway
little bigger.
Oh, he's bigger and he's faster. The skating drills that they had, the testing they had, he was the best in the whole camp. So that says a lot for a young guy like that.
One of the last questions, Craig, and you know, let's look at the hockey today in North America. The Russians did this for 12 months of the year for years, and it was always talked against that, well, these guys should be doing other things in the summertime. That has certainly changed here in the last 10 years.
Oh, it certainly has. Actually, the Russians, they got 1 month off every year.
That was it.
That was it. They worked 11 months of the year, and when they had their month off, they all went to the Black Sea on vacation.
There you go.
So they're always together 12 months of the year. But yeah, in North America, guys can't. They can take a few weeks off, but that's it. Then they got to get right back in the grind of it, and thankfully they all enjoy it. So that's a good part.
Well, Craig, thanks for joining us. We appreciate the insight, and we'll see what else we see here this afternoon. It's been fun so far,
Yeah,
that's for
it
sure.
is. It's fun, yeah.
It really has been. The white team here, Billy, just dominating that portion of the competition, and Ryan Murray finishing it off with kind of a quick slap shot there. So the blue guys are skating their punishment right now.
You got it. Craig, thanks again, bud.
Thank you.